Do I feel good today? What is up, DTL Universe? Welcome into your daily sports and sports betting brand of record. We call it Driving the Line. We are here every single weekday at 10 a.m. and now on Sundays at 10 a.m. Eastern also. And we would like to welcome all of you watching on our new partners. We are thrilled to be on Stadium wherever you find Stadium. We're talking Amazon Prime. We're talking Roku TV. We're talking YouTube TV. We are everywhere now, tens of millions of homes, and that is our new home simulcast. And for you OGs, you can still watch us on our YouTube channel as well. Now, we are the most transparent show in all of sports betting as well. And last night, we had a big-time DTL Primetime Live right before the show started. We found out that CMC would not be playing. It affected a lot. It was a good kind of fire drill for us here at DTL. And look at my man, Raphael. My numbers, I can't wait to get on the show this morning. The rest of the crew, we'll discuss it with them as we go. Do not forget, we have a brand new podcast as well. It's called DTL, the podcast. It drops audio around 2 p.m. Eastern. And for all of you crew members, if you're not a premium member yet, I encourage you to join because you get so much extra stuff. You get an extra segment every day. You get the video of this podcast just for you every single day. Now, AB is off on Tuesdays and Thursdays because the man can only make so many amazing graphics for the show. He needs to rest. But we got a full crew for a reason. So, ladies and gentlemen, without further ado, it is now time for the picks. Oh, and who is the Howie Schropp crew play of the day? Well, you guys get to vote. Royals, Yankees over 8.5. The under 8.5. Yes, there's still baseball, ladies and gentlemen. The Cubs, Dodgers over 7.5, and the Cubs, Dodgers under 7.5. Let's bring in the crew now because we've got some glorious faces this morning. And you know who I'm coming to first. Not only did he have all those check marks next to his name, but his Cubs on the road getting it done against the Dodgers last night. The over came in that game as well. Raphael, you, sir, get our 15 seconds.
Good morning, Coach. Good morning, crew. Not only did I have a nice, successful day yesterday, but the books had a very successful day yesterday as the Cubs beat the Dodgers, probably one of the biggest liabilities on the board that no one's talking about because it was Monday Night Football. But the 49ers game goes over, and all that Jets +6 all the way down to 3.5. All those tickets were scrap paper, as we want to call it right now. So the books cleaned up this weekend. So they have a lot of money and they have a lot of cushion to take some big bets this weekend because they're already in the plus.
Raphael, we have spoken about this many times before.
I know.
You get so happy when the books do well. You're no longer on that side anymore, Raphael. You're on our side now. You got to stop it.
It is true, but now for a better, the limits are going to be higher. They'll be able to take a little bit more bets, a little bit more action because they're in the cushion side right now. So you won't get that. Oh, they're only limiting me to $100. Right now, the books are happy. They'll extend limits right now.
Hey! Don't run backwards, Raphael. Do not run backwards. You're going to trip if you run back.
I don't run anyways.
Now he's got the best beard in the game, and I know for a fact that he watched our brand new Coach and Bro show last night. Soupy, good morning.
Good morning, everybody. Yeah, that was fantastic. You and Vince Russo, that is a great combination. And I live near Long Island. He reminds me of every friend that I have from that area.
It was probably the easiest naming of a show that I've ever had. It's something I love to do, the branding. You guys know that. I pound it over your heads all the time. That was the easiest name that I've ever come up with, the Coach and Bro show. We're going to do over and under. Raphael's going to do an over and under how many times he says bro in every single show. He's also going to be on DTL. He's going to do baseball playoffs for us. Can't wait for that. Now, he is live from Memphis, Tennessee, and he is my backup whenever I'm not here. Don't know if it's been cleared by Stadium yet, but we're going to talk to the execs. DG, good morning.
Good morning, Coach. Good morning, crew. Listen, I got a little bit of driving ahead of me today, and so we'll be off the show the next couple of days. So if you got any shows, I'll be watching or listening to the Coach and Bro show on my drive today. So it should be entertaining.
Well, the next one drops on Thursday. You can watch the first one on demand if you so choose. You can also listen to Detail the podcast as well. So you got a lot of shows you can listen to. Now, this man is usually very quiet. And for those of you in the stadium universe, you will get to know that on most days, he just checks them off and checks them off and checks them off. He is the man from the dirty, dirty Big Chuck. Good morning, sir.
Morning, Coach, crew. Yeah, what a frustrating night. I have to say that was probably the most difficult game for me to break down of the whole week one. So frustrated, but I said week ones are always the hardest, so we move forward. Nations League wraps up today. We get back to full soccer cards, top leagues this weekend as well, so excited to get it forward.
Let's go, and we're going to have a special segment on the Friday show, Football Friday. For Charles, it's going to be Football Friday with a U, and we're going to have one pick from every big league across the world. We're going to do that on Friday just for Big Chuck. Now, I hate, guys, and DG, I'm going to start with you. I hate to say that I was right, but I was right. And John said it. You were right about Rodgers last night, Coach. DG, I don't know what people were talking about last year or when Rodgers himself said, I think I can come back like week 12 or week 13. Running to the left, he could not move. He was not agile at all. And if I'm a Jets fan and a Giants fan, it's going to be a long season. They did not look good last night. I didn't think Rodgers looked good last night. Your take?
Yeah, you honestly look at Rodgers and you kind of see maybe your dad a little bit when he's getting older and you know he's got some of the Jets. He had them, he used to, but they're just not there anymore. And it just looks like he's hurting when he runs. And so I don't know what he's thinking about possibly in the past, what he could have played last year. I don't know. I think he's going to be a short-term guy for the Jets. I think this is the last season for sure with the Jets.
I agree with that, especially, I mean, his number compared to the other young quarterbacks now looks like a bargain. But when he came there, $40 million plus, I don't think he's going to be worth that moving forward. Now, Raphael, you're always our numbers guy. And last night, right before the show, Chris McCaffrey, it was announced he would not play. Now, there's been some controversy on two fronts. That, what's his name? Jordan Watson. Isn't that his name? Watson?
Mason.
Jordan Mason. Sorry, Jordan Mason. Because I knew his name. I'm just trying to set the tone. So Mason says, I knew Friday night that I was probably going to start. Well, in the world of betting now, that could be a big red no-no flag for the 49ers. So you're supposed to announce when a guy is hurt. They did not. So then all of those props come off. But then I've seen some things on social media that Mason's number, because he's the backup, was only 16.5. He went for, let me check my notes, 28 carries, 147 yards. Some sports books move the number from minus 110 to like minus 5,000. Shady stuff going on last night when it comes to this. No?
It is, but I remember back in the day when I was working at Caesars in the 90s, where we had the phone call practices. We had people at practice and say, hey, is this guy hurt? Is this guy limping? Is he going to play? So, boy, has times changed, but that's just the way the books are. They never want to give the edge up. Now, did Jordan Mason probably know he was going to play on Friday? Yes, because ever since Friday, Adam Schefter, all these guys were now saying Achilles, not calf. So when I started hearing the word Achilles, I had a really red flag that I didn't think he was going to play, period, because Achilles and calf are two totally different injuries, especially when you're a running back the way CMC plays. So I had the red flag approaching already when I started hearing the word Achilles, not calf.
Yeah, but you taught us just yesterday on the show that if you get the number, then they've got to give you that number. They can't go into your account, change the number, and then you go and look at it after the game and go, what just happened? I played him before. I was a smart handicapper. I don't like it.
That's bad. That's bad management. And that's where the young pups are who now running these books. They're all about refunds and all about stuff like that. Back in the old school, if I was still working right now, I would say, hey, congratulations, you got me. Here's your money. But now these days, everyone gets a participation trophy. Everyone gets a refund. If one guy only took one snap and now the whole world wants refunds because he did play, but he only got one snap. That's the world that we live in right now. But me, I would have paid him. Hey, you got me. I'll get you next week.
And apparently the other world we live in, Charles and Soupy, is that Raphael just took your time. So you guys aren't unable to participate on the game last night. We've got to get to our picks, ladies and gentlemen. And if we have some time left over, I will come back to Soupy and Charles. But Charles, as I'm looking at this and I'm seeing the final day, hopefully, of all of these nations playing, and we can get back to league play, but you got two plays. Can't split them today. We don't have time. You can thank Raphael. Don't have time to split. You're up, sir.
Appreciate you, Raphael. The Nations League, it wraps up its first phase today, and we're going to the marquee matchup first between the Netherlands and Germany, who have already scored 10 total goals in their opening matches. And based on their styles of play, I see another wide open affair. So I'm going to recommend the over 2.75, which they have combined for 3 or more total goals in 5 of their last 6 meetings. Lastly, we travel to Prague, where the Czech Republic have scored in 11 straight, while the Ukraine has hit the back of the net in 6 of 9. With both teams losing their opening matches, both teams should go all out for a positive result. So this is the classic both teams score spot as well as we wrap up the Nations League. I think both matches go off at 2:45 p.m. Eastern as well.
Can you imagine the good people of Prague if Charles walked off a plane and just started talking to the people on the streets, telling them about soccer plays? Like, what are you doing? What are you talking about? What is that accent? Oh, that'd be hilarious. We got to make that happen. When we really explode, we need to take our show to Prague, and you'll be on that trip, Charles. All right. Now, Soupy, let me come over to you because we're going back to the diamond. We cannot forget about baseball. And as we do, this is the time of year where books can get a little bit soft because they're paying attention to football. You're up, Soupy.
That's why we're going to take advantage of it. For Astros at Athletics, go to the game parlay section at DraftKings. It'll say money line / total. That's where you'll find this bet. They have hit this total in 6 of 10 games during their season series. Astros have hit this in 3 of their last 5. Athletics have hit this in 4 of their last 5. And let's go to Yankees and the Royals. We're going with another over because the Yankees went on a tear last night. They scored 11 runs. And as we know, their pitching is god awful, including Marcus Stroman. He has been inconsistent all year at the stadium. I love the way the Royals are hitting also. Hit that over 8.5.
Boom and boom. DG says in the chat, Tuesday kind of feels like a hangover day after the football week. It kind of does, DG. It kind of does. You're up. You got 2 big plays.
Yeah, we're going to go to the WNBA today, and we're going to go Tina Charles at a double-double at -130. Listen, I have been all over Tina Charles as of late. She's been a cash cow. So we're going to go back to this. She's had 10-plus points in 22 of the last 23 games and then 10-plus rebounds in 7 of the last 9. So cash just Tina Charles double-double at -130. All right, we're going to go to Jordan, Canada here, and this is different. It's not over 5.5 assists. It's 6+ assists, and the reason is you go to FanDuel, over 5.5 is -130, but 6+ assists, which is different, is going to be the -122. And the reason is she's had 6+ assists in 80% of the games this season. But if you look at the other 3 games she missed, 2 of the games she had 5. She has been very consistent with these assists. So we're going to go Jordan, Canada, 6+ assists at -122.
And you may ask yourself, why do I worry about 20 cents here, 20 cents there? Well, if you do this every single day, all those 20 cents really start to add up. So listen to my guys when they're maneuvering just a little bit. Let's stay in the WNBA. Raphael, you are up.
I'm going to take up some more time. I'm going to spell out my plays. No, I'm going to take the LA Sparks team total under 74.5. These 2 teams just played each other 2 days ago, and it flew under the total. The Sparks have lost 9 out of their last 10 games. They can't score. The last 2 days, they only scored 67 points when Connecticut whooped them 79-67. I don't see the Sparks scoring at all today. Give me the team total under 74.5.
I love it when Raphael talks about somebody whooping somebody else when it comes to the WNBA. Texas Joel, I always mispronounce his name. Some good early line for week 2 NFL. Get them before they move. Texas on Tuesdays, we're going to have an entire segment looking forward to 3 of the biggest games of the week as we try to get ahead. Exactly what you're talking about, exactly what we're going to do. Now, I do have one play today, and it's an NFL future for this week. The Seahawks travel all the way across country to take on the Patriots, +3.5. Now, most books have 3. I'm buying the 0.5 point because it was even money. So I'll lay the -120, but I've got to make you all understand when you travel from the west to the east in your body clock, the NFL teams don't go 2 or 3 days early. They go the day before, which means that they're going to be playing at 10 a.m. body clock time. The Patriots are going to slow it down. It's going to be tight, really tight. They won at Cincinnati a week ago. I think they've got that confidence now to be at home in their home opener and get it done against the Seahawks, who beat the Broncos by 6 on Sunday. All right, those are our picks. do not forget, coming up later in the show, we're going to prop it up as my guys will have their prop picks for the day as well. But still to come, we're looking ahead, as I just said, at some of the big games of the week. Bills, Dolphins, Saints, Cowboys, Bengals, Chiefs. We do it all. We're just getting started on a Tuesday. It's DTL on Stadium. And we continue on here on YouTube for all of you OGs. And DG, I want to start with you because the body cam footage came out last night of Tyreek Hill, and we did not see anything. Now, they may have had a little back and forth. He rolled the window down, put the window back up, but there is a lot of reaction. Jalen Ramsey just came out a few minutes ago of outrage that over a little bit of an argument, banging on the window, he ended up face down in handcuffs. What was your reaction, DG, when you saw that video?
Honestly, it was disgusted. It's disappointed. It's the fact that we're living in America, which is a free country, right? And we love our country. But the fact that the police sometimes, who we want to trust, we teach our kids to trust, sometimes let us down. It's really a disappointing thing. There was a report that came out that Tyreek Hill, the reason he rolled his window back up, he just felt like he was so close to the game. He would be very noticeable. People probably know what he drives. He really just didn't want to make it a spectacle. And so that was his reasoning as to why he rolled it back up. And then he rolled it back down just a little bit to talk to him. He just didn't want to have all the pictures and everybody stopping on the side of the road and just kind of looking at him and making it bigger than what it should have been.
No doubt about it. Then you see the big man, Calais Campbell, Soupy, and he was just on the phone, pulled over. He got yelled at, and he basically got detained.
Yeah, it's just incredible, like what DG just said, that he tried to roll the window up so nobody could notice. Guess what? At 12 o'clock, we all saw it. We all noticed because it was right on the X. And I don't live in Miami. I have no idea if they'd even recognize Tyreek Hill from the beginning. You would believe that they're so close to the stadium that you would look and just go, "Oh, that's Tyreek Hill."
All right, I got to cut you off. This means shut up. We're back in 3 seconds.
That's my bad.
Welcome back to DTL on Stadium and on YouTube. And by the way, Soupy, when you talk, they can actually still hear you when we come back from break. Just a little thing when you're not on mute. Do not forget, as I scold my crew, that the next segment is brought to you by Factor Meals. Warmer, sunnier days are a call and fuel up for them with Factor's no prep, no mess meals. Meet your wellness goals in time for summer thanks to the menu of chef-crafted meals with options like Calorie Smart, Protein Plus, and Keto. Now, head to factormeals.com/DTL50 and use that code DTL50 to get 50% off your first box plus 20% off your next month. That's code DTL50. And I'm telling you, AB has tried this. They sent him the free box instead of me. I'm not happy about it, but he says you can't go wrong. Factor Meals, thanks for being a part of DTL on Stadium. Now, gentlemen, it is never too early to start looking ahead at big games for the week. It's about that number. Half a points matter. Points matter. And, Charles, I'm going to start with you because as we look at the Bills and Dolphins first, right now Miami, who had a comeback win against Jacksonville last week, they are favored by 2. The Bills nearly lost to the Cardinals at home in Buffalo. The total sitting at 49. Is this number correct, Charles?
Yeah, and actually I'm seeing it some 1.5s now. It's actually went down, and then surprisingly, and that total I think it's went down as well. I thought it'd come out at 50, now 49. Now the Bills, they've had success going to the Magic City. They've won 3 out of the last 4. But what really shocks me is the under is cashed every year since 2020. They normally play higher scoring games in Buffalo, and then in South Beach it's lower scoring. So just remember that as well. So yeah, we're seeing that tick down. I think Sunday we're maybe look ahead spots for both teams as well, knowing they had this week 2 game. If you notice, both teams barely got by as well, so it could have been look ahead games as well. So yeah, just remember that the Bills have won 3 out of 4, and the under is cashed since 2000 in Miami.
All right, Raphael, let me come over to you. Miami would love to go 2-0. The last couple of years, it's been all about the Bills. They want to get out ahead early in the season.
Yeah, this one opened up in the summer -1, and the total was 51. Now it's 49, 48, 8.5 at one shop. This one's probably one of the lower Miami Dolphin totals that everyone realizes their offense is going to be really, really good, really potent. I'm a little bit shocked that this total continues to drop. I think this one flies over just because of the offense that Miami has and what we saw with Buffalo over week 1. So I'm going to wait to see what this one, but Miami looks like the play. They've won 9 out of their last 11 home games. I think this one's a home team type of game with a lot of points.
And I think, Soupy, that a lot of people are interested to see what the Bills look like. Let's be honest, that was not an A game. A lot of people didn't see the Bills-Cardinals 34-28. This will be the first time. What do you expect?
Because this is a division game, they both know each other very well. I think it'll be a much more competitive match. What the Bills need to do is they need to slow down the tempo of the Dolphins. That's how you beat them. If you don't let them play fast like they always want to, then you have a chance to keep it competitive. Bills have done very well with that. And I still like Josh Allen. Josh Allen picked it up towards the second half in that game. I think he exposed the Dolphins defense. I think it's going to be a lot closer. I would take the Bills at +2. I think it could be a 1-point game.
Really, let's be honest, DG. Last week, the Dolphins were down by double digits and had a really good end of the third and the fourth. So they weren't dominant against Jacksonville. Your take?
Yeah, they weren't dominant at all, but it was a little slow start for Miami, and honestly late, closing in as well for Buffalo. So both these teams got up to a kind of a rough start in the first half. But one matchup I'm looking at is James Cook going against the Miami Dolphins. He has not done well against Miami, and so that might be a chance to take the under. So if you're looking at lines, you see they're kind of high, maybe a chance to look at his number on the under on the rushing yards.
Definitely a lot of different plays in every single NFL play. I see a lot of you in the chat. I love the chat going back and forth. It's always a polarizing topic when you're bringing the cops into play. You're seeing both sides of the fence. Nobody's saying that Tyreek didn't do anything wrong. What we're saying, at least what I'm saying, is that it didn't warrant face down in handcuffs on the street 2 blocks out of the stadium. He could have been better in that interaction, but it didn't deserve that. That's kind of what we're saying. And I think a lot of you are saying the same thing. Both could have been better in that situation. All right, you're watching DTL on Stadium and on YouTube. The simulcast every single weekday started yesterday. So thank you to Stadium for that. Raphael, let me start with you. Saints and the Cowboys. Both teams had big-time wins. The Saints, they scored 47 points in a blowout of the Panthers. But it was about the Cowboys as Dak got his money. 4 for 240, and he looked the part. They're home now. Home opener. Laying 6.5.
Well, let's pump the brakes a little bit on the Saints. They beat the Carolina Panthers. Sorry, Big Chuck. They beat the Panthers. I'm going to say it again. They beat the Panthers at home. So I'm not saying that's a big-time victory. Now the Saints have to deal with Parkins and Lawrence. If those two went off like they did against Cleveland that no one's talking about, they all want to talk about what Dak did and his contract, what the offense did. No one's talking about the Cowboys' defense, what they did against the Cleveland Browns offensive line. I think if Parkins and Lawrence have another big game, I think the Saints will be in deep trouble. This is probably going to be a Cowboy betting team. I would not be shocked if we see 7, a very popular teaser play, a very popular money line play. This one's going to be very interesting to see what this number closes at, because I think Cowboys are going to be a very popular teaser and money line parlay player.
I agree. Subi, let me come over to you, because the Cowboys, now that they got their quarterback and CeeDee Lamb at max money, there's a lot of pressure on them, but it's all about the regular season. They've been great, so there's not going to be a lot of excitement week to week, no? Oh, my God, Soupy. Seriously? Seriously? All right, you're done. DG, I'm coming over to you. What do you got on this?
A little bit better than Soupy right here. I'm going to go with the looking at the Cowboys. Listen, that -6.5, it obviously isn't a sexy number, but it's better than the 7. But one matchup I'm looking at is field goals. I will be all over Brendan Aubrey as soon as this line comes out, just like Duke is kind of on my screen right here. But I will say Brendan Aubrey is going to load it up there, especially at home against the Saints.
Oh, Duke wanted a little camera time there. He was about as loud right there as Soupy was a few seconds ago. All right, Charles, let me come over to you. 6.5. I wouldn't mind buying the 7 if it's not more expensive than -130.
I like a different approach. I actually like points in this one. I think it started at 44.5. Now we're creeped up to 45.5. And then at Jerry's world, surprisingly, 4 out of the last 5 have went over the total. And the Saints have actually beat the Cowboys in 6 of the last 10. So just mark that one down, numbers guy. So I think that we're definitely going to see some. I like points in this one as well. So I'm actually liking that total. I think both teams can, get, 24 23, somewhere in there. I definitely like that over 45.5 on the fast track.
Wow, I tell you what, Charles is slinging some stuff this morning. Charles is slinging some things. Yes, Raphael, quickly go.
So I guess he's comparing Carr to Drew Brees. I didn't know that's what we were comparing now these days, because that's what he just said right now, that Carr is equal to Drew Brees. I didn't know that. Thank you.
That's
Thank
what
you
I
for
heard.
clarifying that, Chuck.
That's
Thank
what
you
I
for
heard.
clarifying, Chuck. I have to write that down. Thank you.
It's a new day.
Look at these guys. Just for all of you who do not live in the South, Charles lives right in the heart of Louisiana, if you couldn't tell from his accent. So he is a Saints participant, Falcons fan. All right. Now, Soupy, I'm going to give you plenty of time to come off mute right now. I'm going to start with you because the Bengals are traveling to Arrowhead. I don't know how the Chiefs got 2 home games to start the season, but they did as the 2-time defending champions. So the Bengals laid a big old fat egg at home last week, losing to the Patriots. So they cannot afford to go 0-2. Chiefs laying the 6. It scares me as a Chiefs fan. Soupy, what say you?
I say lay it down because they're going to win by more than a touchdown. I said it in our NFL preview. I don't like the Bengals this year. I don't like their offensive line. I don't like their defense. I don't think this is going to be a good team this year. Going to Arrowhead is always one of the toughest environments. Patrick Mahomes knows how. He's had struggles actually against the Bengals, but I don't think this is the same Bengals team, even with Joe Burrow. I'm laying the 6. I think they'll win by more than a touchdown.
Scott agrees with you. He says Bengals 0-2. They are not good. By the way, guys in the chat, let it go. Move on. Let's talk about football now. Let it go. This is the problem I have with so many times you get into a discussion. Just stop and move on to positive. Let's go. We discussed it. Let's move on. All right. So, Raphael, let me come back over to you because the Bengals in the past, a couple of years ago, they beat the Chiefs and they ended up in the Super Bowl. Since then, though, it's been about injuries. And now Jamar Chase has been such a huge distraction. And last week, I think he had 6 for 62 or something like that.
Yeah, I've been loving for a pay-per-view show, just the wide receiver room in Cincinnati, what they actually talk about in there. And we've seen it in week 1. The wide receivers were nowhere to be found. Joe Burrow looked so depressed on the bench. I can't believe we're going to say this, but the Chiefs are going to be 2-0 starting off this football season. So we get to hear the love all the way for week 17, that maybe the Chiefs are going to go undefeated. Just give them the trophy, cancel the football league. But the Chiefs will be 2-0 because I am not sold of what's going on in Cincinnati. Who would have thought the Steelers would be in first place right now?
Was that sarcasm?
Yes.
DG, as I boil inside when he says my Chiefs can't go 17-0. What's your take, sir?
I think this is a runaway game for Kansas City. I think Cincinnati is struggling. If you look at how they played the first week, they just got ran all over. This might be a Pacheco game. Stevenson ran all over them in the first game, so Pacheco might be someone we target with the rushing yards.
All right, very good. Charles, come over to you. Wrap it up for us. Can the Chiefs cover that big number against a former good team?
It's maybe one of those perception spots. The Chiefs couldn't be any better. The Bengals couldn't be any worse. That 6 is could be a big number, especially against a team that's won 7 out of the last 10 as well. But I'm looking at the total in this one as well. I think the under is a spot as well. That's actually cashed 5 straight at Arrowhead between these two teams, and that number is creeping down a little as well. I think this may be a tighter game. They usually air it out when they go to Cincinnati, but at Arrowhead, it tends to stay a little bit lower scoring.
According to Raphael, 2 books have Kansas City at -5.5. And then also somebody in the chat said that DraftKings has the Saints, thank you, Aaron, at +7. So a lot of different numbers, Raphael, going around with these games right now.
Yeah, Tuesday's a big line movement day for books. Some sharp money will come in on Tuesday now that everyone either cashed out on Monday or licked their wounds on Monday. So Tuesday afternoons, you'll see the screens light up, some half points, 1-point movement. So be very careful on Tuesday's line movement.
All right. Raven Derelict is pulling a soupy in the chat. He says, since he's discombobulated 2 B's and a couple of O's and don't really know what he's doing over there. Anyway. Still to come here on DTL in the morning. We're talking props. We're going to prop it up. All of my guys have prop plays for today and also a little educate and entertain. It's a Tuesday and it's DTL live on Stadium. We're back. All right, we continue here on YouTube. And gentlemen, finally Shaq, who always seems to be the voice of reason, did an interview with USA Today. And DG, he said that the jealousy that is coming with Caitlin Clark is professional jealousy. And the quote of the year, he says, "I'm jealous of Steph Curry. He makes $60 million. Hey, but that's life." I think that's what it's boiled down to this year is Caitlin makes so much more than everybody else. The girls can't handle it. Do you agree with Shaq?
Shaq coming out and saying that as a alumni of the league is good for the league because it just shows like, hey, listen, we all want to make more money, and so we can be a little bit jealous about somebody's other their pockets, even though Shaq has plenty of money. But I will say that a lot of the jealousy is to Caitlin because of maybe the endorsement she's getting and the popularity that she has, and so I think it is refreshing to hear somebody actually speak the truth for once.
Charles.
Yeah, it's crazy to hear Shaq say that as well, as much money as he had. So that's not her fault. I mean, she's just doing her job. I mean, they maybe should step up their charisma and charm as well and sell themselves a little bit more. But hey, it's benefiting the whole league. I don't know why they would hate on that. I mean, it's as a whole. It should be a team here. They're all getting lucrative opportunities.
That is the question. Soupy, your thoughts?
What Caitlin Clark is doing, as Charles said, she's elevating the whole league. This is going to help everybody else. In this time, you see Cameron Brink and Asia Wilson and even Angel Reese start getting all these deals. It's only going to benefit the league in the long run. It's not immediate, but it will eventually do it.
Yeah, it's all about revenue sharing, Raphael, and the higher the TV revenue goes, which isn't very high right now, the more they will make.
I agree that the money is probably jealousy, but there's also other points. That's I think why people are jealous of her. Just her normality, all the stuff, the commercials she's making. There's a lot of other factors why I think the jealousy is in it, not just all about money. But when it comes to money, they're all gonna benefit. But keep an eye out for other reason why they're jealous as well.
All right, and she will be the Rookie of the Year now that Angel Reese is out for the year with that injury. All right, we are just about ready to come back. We are live on Stadium in 5 seconds. Welcome back to DTL in the morning on Stadium and simulcast on our own YouTube page as well. I got the best crew in the game, DG, Raphael, Charles, Big Chuck, and Soupy. And gentlemen, we spread things out here on DTL now. So producer man, if you don't mind, it's time to prop it up. Oh, I love that music. I'm coming right over to you, Raphael, because you think tonight a guy that we haven't been talking about a lot for Arizona starts to play just like his team's been playing to start us off.
Yeah, this game's going to have a lot of runs, but Zach Gallen from the Diamondbacks over 5.5 strikeouts. I'll take the plus 130. His last 3 starts, he has 8 strikeouts per game. I can't believe when I saw that, and I was getting plus 130. His last 5 starts, 6 Ks per game he's averaging. Again, plus 130. I cannot pass that, even though I believe we're going to see a lot of runs. I think Gallen gets strikeouts, not groundouts.
Right now, Arizona is 6 games back in the division. However, they are in the 2nd spot for the wild card. However, the Mets and Atlanta are right behind, so they need a good performance tonight from Zach Gallen. And how about 6 strikeouts to give Raphael a little plus money play? Now, Soupy, let me come over to you, because last night, Kyle Schwarber, the Phillies only scored 2 runs, but he had his 34th home run of the year. If he does that tonight, you're toast. Explain yourself.
I took him last night to hit a home run, not here, but in another spot, because he was facing a pitcher that had a 50% fly ball rate. He's facing Taj Bradley, who has a 41% ground ball rate. When pitchers try to get you to hit on the ground, Schwarber can't lift it, and that's his biggest asset. That's why I have him under 1.5 hits, runs, and RBIs. And then Ronaldo Lopez has a 32% strikeout rate against the Natties, and he has struck out 7 in both of his starts against them this year.
Wait a second. Raphael, did Soupy just say there were other shows that he participates on? Did we approve that?
I didn't.
Very interesting. Very interesting.
I meant my other article. I'm a writer too.
He's a writer too, ladies and gentlemen. He is at
Can't mute a writer.
bettingpros.com. Yeah. All right, let's head over to the gridiron. And Charles, the Bills and the Dolphins, and we'll be live Thursday night, 7 p.m. By the way, we will not be on Stadium Thursday night, so all of you need to watch on our YouTube channel, 7 to 8 p.m. Eastern time. But, Charles, you think Josh Allen at minus 115? Wow, it's minus money for him to have a rushing touchdown?
I was shocked at this number. That's why I'm getting out ahead of it. He has 36 career touchdowns versus the Dolphins. He had 2 last week as well. I can see him either throwing or getting on the goal line and getting it across as well for that touchdown. Yeah, minus 115. I only see this one to go up by game day as well. So I'm locking that in today.
Wait a second. So this is a passing or a rushing touchdown?
Anytime, isn't it?
I think it's
my apologies. My apologies. It's rushing. My apologies.
Okay.
It's rushing.
I was going to say, wow.
My apologies. Rushing.
Okay.
Rushing.
So he's got to be rushing touchdown.
My apologies. Yes.
Yeah. That's why I was a little bit surprised at the number, but he does rush a lot.
He had 15 last season, and then I have a prop for him for the season to get over that number as well this season. So he's already off to a fast start. So rushing touchdown minus 115. I still think that one goes up as well. So it's great to go ahead and lock it in on a Tuesday.
For all of you watching at home, we have nicknames for everybody, and one of the ones we have for Big Chuck is Chalk. He loves chalk. CHALK. Now, DG, let me come over to you because you are one of our resident college football aficionados, and you're attacking a first half number early. You're up.
Yeah, this game's going to get off to a hot start, unlike Soupy today with the mute button. We're going to go with Ole Miss and Wake Forest over 32.5 first half points. And I looked at the line for Ole Miss, and their team total was 21.5. If that ever does fall to a 21 number or honestly a 20.5, you have to hammer that in the first half. You look at this Wake Forest team who just lost to Virginia 31-30. They're giving up a lot of points. They also like to score and go pretty fast. And so I think that they're going to try and score a few points, but really Ole Miss should run away with this game. And honestly, they might even cover this number themselves. But it's going to be Ole Miss and Wake Forest over 32.5 first half points at minus 112.
We are seeing a different world now that there are 12 teams in the playoff race and there are at-large teams. You're seeing teams really want to score a lot, and I love these plays, and certainly in the first half. DG, very, very smart. All right, we've got a lot of topics that don't necessarily pertain just to sports betting. That's why I always say it's sports and sports betting every single day here on DTL. So, ladies and gentlemen, it is now time to educate and entertain. It's that old saying, you can't win it in the first week, but sometimes you can lose it in the first week. And Raphael Jordan Love gets hurt in Brazil, and they're not putting him on the IR, which would have meant that he was going to miss a certain period of time. So I think they believe he'll be back in a week or two. But they now have a backup in Mr. Willis that I've said during our previews, I can't even believe that he's in the NFL, let alone as a backup. He is now a starter. How big of a deal as they come home for their first home game against Indianapolis?
Yeah, I'm a little shocked that they haven't called Ryan Tannehill to try to see if he can be a backup. Because do you really want what you're talking about, Willis, as your quarterback for this game? I don't. It's going to be very difficult. I think the benefit of this one is everyone thought Jordan Love was going to be out maybe 6 to 8 weeks. Now 3 to 4, especially the way the NFL players come back. It wouldn't shock me. He's back in 3 weeks. So, but with Malik Willis being on there, I'm very wolf for the Packers. And let's see, Minnesota got off a W. The Bears already got off a W. This could be a bad sign for the Packers if they go 0-2 just because of Malik Willis is their quarterback.
John says, take whoever is playing Green Bay this week. Well, John, that is the Colts. And DG, last week, they lost by 2 in a shootout to the Texans, so they also need to get a dub. This is a must-win for both. If I'm a Packers fan, I'm very worried.
Yeah, I've already hit this line myself, but it's now moved to 3. I'm not scared of that 3 number. That I wouldn't go any higher than that just because Green Bay is still a good team. I just don't trust Malik Willis at all. The thing is, if you look at their team and how they're going to play defensively for the Colts going against the Green Bay, honestly, they're going to play the run and make Malik Willis throw the ball. And so look out for that on the unders on a lot of his plays.
Charles, let me come over to you because we spend all this time in the preseason talking about what could be. And then when an injury happens, it changed the entire discussion. Packers now, it looks like the Lions are the clear favorite after 1 week. That's how it feels to me. You?
Yeah, they're absolutely the class of the division as well. Yeah, and the Packers were flipped on their heads, but you can tell they didn't put much thought into Mr. Love being injured as well. They brought in Malik at the last minute, but hey, why aren't they calling Joe Flacco? He's on the couch out there as well. Last time I checked, he had a pretty good season last season as well, so I think he would be a viable option. But I don't think they put much thought into Mr. Love getting injured this early in the season or at all, as a matter of fact.
Yeah, not after he signed 4 years, over $200 million. And in the chat, Soupy, they're saying that Tannehill doesn't want to sign to be a temporary. He wants someplace where he can play for the entire season. That may not happen. So why not say, hey, agent, call the Packers and just see? Because if he comes in and plays well, you never know what can happen. But he may sit at home all year waiting for a shot like that.
Yeah, there's really, unless someone's out for the entire season, I don't think Tannehill is going to get that opportunity. And Tannehill played with LaFleur when LaFleur was at Tennessee. You would think this would be a perfect opportunity for him to know LaFleur's system and come in and be a productive player right away. But honestly, I don't think Tannehill is good enough to be a starter. He's not Joe Flacco the way he was with the Browns last year.
Yeah. Phil Winmore says, why wouldn't you worry about the quarterback injury in the NFL? And by the way, just so everybody's clear, Charles, Flacco is in the NFL. He's back up with the Colts, I believe. Correct? Is Flacco with the Colts? Yes?
Yes.
Yes?
Mm-hmm.
Okay. Very, very good. All right. Now, Sunday night, the Rams, they lost in overtime to the Detroit Lions, and they lost more than that. All the numbers, Raphael, for Puka Nacua were higher than Cooper Kupp. And I think it's the first time I've ever seen that with a healthy Cooper Kupp. But now no Puka Nacua. So now Cooper Kupp is going to be doubled everywhere he goes. How big of a deal for the 0-1 Rams that they don't have that stud on the football field?
It's a huge deal, especially for the sportsbooks. Now they have to jack up Cooper's numbers for all his prop bets, and I can guarantee you, people were begging for Puka refunds when he got hurt, but he didn't play the whole game. But yeah, I think Cooper's numbers are going to be sky high. He's probably not going to be worth playing anything because that's how numbers are going to be jacked up. Maybe some under bets on him for his total yards and receptions, because I think that people are going to be still betting him over, knowing that he's going to be the key target out there.
Yeah, DG, this is. And I don't know why we're surprised. As somebody in the chat says, why are you surprised at injuries? It's the NFL. That is true. But when it's big names after week one, it just kind of feels like, as a fan, we're gutted a little bit. And if you're a Rams fan, I live 50 miles from the stadium. That's all they're talking about on the local news.
Puka Nacua is very, very good, and he should have had higher numbers than Cooper Kupp. But honestly, I think Puka Nacua is very good, and he's going to have a good year. He just, it's bad luck, in all honesty. But a guy that's going to benefit from this is Demarcus Robinson, who's going to be the true number 2 now receiver. And so maybe look at some of his stuff. His numbers might be a little high. I don't know if I've seen him yet, but you could be a guy that you might target.
Interesting. Charles, when you look at this, because I always love to ask you and how your mind works and how you delve into a game. But for the Rams, it's pretty straightforward. They have these 2 guys. They're dynamic. They have one out. They're a lot less dynamic.
Yeah, I'm sure Cooper Kupp's going to see plenty of double teams now. So, yeah, Robinson's definitely going to be a viable option. But I think Puka's only going to be out for about a month as well. So, as long as they still have Kupp, he has an amazing way of still getting open no matter how many minutes cover him in as well. So, I think as long as they still have him, they can kind of ride the ship until Puka can get back on the field.
I got 20 seconds, Subi. What do you got?
Look for Tyler Johnson too. He had 7 targets, along with Demarcus Robinson having 7 targets. But Cooper Kupp is going to be the guy. He had 21 targets in that game last night, or Sunday night. But they just need to ride out the next 4 games with Puka. Hopefully, go 2-2 at least.
Carl says, I laddered Cooper Kupp from 5.5 to 12.5. Liddy says, Cooper going to clean up. You got to bet him live. That's for damn sure. Still to come, we've got a few minutes left in the show. We're going to do the whip around. We're going to take you back through all of our picks and look ahead. It's DTL in the morning, live on Stadium. We continue here on YouTube, and this is kind of your world, Soupy, the college football realm. And a big story came out of after the Colorado-Nebraska game that Deion Sanders told the band, don't play the fight song that they play after a touchdown. No, you've got to be quiet so they can play his son Shadir Sanders' song first. So the Colorado came out with a statement, and they said, oh, hell no. I'm paraphrasing. Oh, hell no. That didn't happen. However, we did instruct them to wait so there could be a snippet of that song and then go into the fight song. Are you kidding me right now? This is actually a story, and it's real, Soupy.
The spectacle that is Colorado is driving me crazy because how about being more concerned about the game you were shut out in the first half? Why don't we try doing that a little more instead of trying to hype up your son's music? Maybe he believes that he won't be a successful quarterback in the NFL.
Oh, that could be something, Charles.
Yeah, that was crazy that come out. But I love the way that they played it back though as well. They kind of took us back, but I can definitely see Deion doing that the whole game. That's all he's doing is self promoting Shadur. So I nothing surprises me with that duo as well. But it was nice to see that Colorado come out and took us back for it.
John said Deion is so selfish. DG,
I'm curious what this looks like going forward. Is Deion gonna be there? Because once Shador leaves, like what's left? His team isn't very good. So I don't know what happens. I know there's the rumors about going to the Cowboys and all that. I don't know if he is a good enough coach. He hasn't shown it yet. So I'm curious what happens next year.
I love that take, Raphael.
100% agree. He can't even coach the Dallas Baptist college football team right now. He ain't going to the Cowboys. I think he's just going to follow his son's footsteps and maybe just be one of those dads in the stands cheering for him. I don't think he coaches again next year unless someone gives him Florida State, one of these teams that be looking for a name to be a head coach, not a good head coach.
It is so fascinating how fast in just 15 months, 16 months, he's gone from the toast of the town, going to change the world. And now selfish. His son's doing this. His son's getting $5 million. Just crazy. Absolutely crazy. We are back on Stadium in 5 seconds. All right, welcome back to Stadium and simulcast on YouTube. It is DTL in the morning, and we cannot forget about our baseball. And because of line movement, motivation, whatever it is, there are now new options at a lot of sports books. We get these numbers from DraftKings. You can bet on either player to go yard today. Here are our selections, and AB did an amazing job even on his day off. Jorge Soler, if you know, you know. Marcell Ozuna, one of those hits, plus 165. Our favorite Baltimore Oriole, Gunnar Henderson. Boy, have the Orioles fallen off. My goodness, the Yankees lead 11.5. They're in Boston, take on Rafael Devers and the Red Sox. Christian Walker, Arizona, right smack dab in the wild card race, taking on Adolis Garcia. He's with the Rangers. Bryce Harper, Kyle Schwarber, Phillies. They got to get it done. Yes, they're on the same team. And Francisco Lindor, Pete Alonso, plus 245. Big Chuck, where are we going?
Give me Christian Walker and Adolis, plus 200. I might like this game for runs as well. So for show purposes, Christian Walker, Adolis, plus 200.
Boom. Soupy. You've got to be kidding me. No way. Oh, my God. Oh.
Yeah, that's on me.
It couldn't be on anybody else.
Yep.
All right, Soupy, go.
Francisco Lindor and Pete Alonso against Chris Bassett.
Excuse me. Raphael.
I was going to mute myself just to be a team player, just to get some off of Snoopy, but no way. Give me Harper, Schwarber, plus 215. I'll take the two lefties to go yard today. Harper, Schwarber.
Don't make me laugh, Raphael. I'm trying to be pissed. Don't make me laugh. DG, it's almost like he's serving it up on a silver platter today for you.
Silver platter will be served by Bassett's Blends today. I'm going to back Soupy here with Francisco Lindor and Pete Alonso at plus 245.
Robbie said he's already dead. Quit kicking him. This is what our show's all about. This is part of being the crew. It's kind of like having like 5 brothers, and they're gonna lift you up when they lift you up, and they're gonna kick you when you down. Jason said, "Let's have a moment of mute for." All right, if you weren't here at the top of the hour, don't even worry about it because we got you covered. We know people have jobs. We know people are out there trying to work. You're hiding underneath your desk just to watch us on your little iPad. Well, now you can watch us on Stadium on a full-fledged TV. You can watch it on your computer. You don't have to hide anymore. Just hit that tab at the top. We won't tell your bosses. Don't even worry about it. Also, we take care of you in a little something we like to call the whip around. Well, go see Mike. Coach is slowly becoming the parent that is louder than the kid being a kid. You might be right, go see Mike. I still feel like I'm 2 years old and look like it too. If you know, you know. All right, gentlemen, we have now that we have a little bit longer, we can have 2 nuggets on every game, maybe 15 seconds on every game. It's okay. It's okay. So, Raphael, I want to start with you because the WNBA in the middle of the week will still be our bread and butter. We've done very well with this league. What do we like tonight?
Well, the bettors are sweating the over-under mute button 2.5. But right now, give me the LA Sparks team total under 74.5. The Sparks just stink. They've lost 9 out of 10. 2 days ago, these 2 teams played, and Connecticut Sun beat them 79-67. I'll take the under 74.5.
We're fading the Sparks and their offense tonight. DG, we are not fading Tina Charles, however.
Yeah, we're going to go Tina Charles here, double-double at minus 130. She's had 10 points in 22 of the last 23 games, then 10 rebounds in 7 of the last 9 games. She is a walking double-double. And then we're going to go Jordan Canada, 6+ assists. Oh, Canada. 80% on the season at minus 122, 6+, not over 5.5 at FanDuel.
Oh, Canada. I saw a video of Lillian Garcia back in the day, ring announcer when I was in the WWE. Imagine listening to the same person sing the national anthem for 10 years every night. I woke up with PTSD, no lie. All right, Allie, she's got your boys back. She says, Coach, with the Patriots pick. Wow. You're right, Allie. When the Seahawks have to travel coast to coast and they got to play a 1 o'clock early Sunday game that their body clocks tell them is 10 a.m., it throws everything off. They will come out slow. The Patriots will get a small lead, 7-0, 9-0, something like that, and then it'll be like last week in Cincinnati. I bought the half a point. It's even money at +3. I like having that extra half point to take it and lay in the 4 nickels. Did you like that, Raphael? The 4 nickels.
Yes, I did.
Right. Thank you very much. Now, the last is it the last day, Charles, of the Nations League today? Yes?
That's correct.
All right. We got 2 big plays. You're up.
Netherlands, Germany over 2.75. I'm expecting a 2-2 type match in this one. Then coming straight out of Prague, Czech Republic and Ukraine, both teams to score. I see 1-1 at worst in this one.
Omar's asking about Mexico, Canada. Do you like both teams to score in that one?
I certainly do.
Look at Charles following orders. Interesting. Now, as I am the best host in all of America, and it's not close, I have strategically waited until this moment. By the way, Elliot says 224 watching and only 89 likes. Hit that like button. Elliot, we have well over 1,200 people watching live right now. You're just seeing the YouTube number. We are everywhere. That does not include Stadium. Has that given you enough time, Soupy, to now be ready? Are we locked and loaded? Producer man? All right. You are up.
Go on DraftKings. You will. I'm on. Oh, I thought you said. I
celebrating.
You were getting angry. I'm like, no, it's good.
No. I was just celebrating. My bad. My bad.
I'm
Please
looking
continue.
at the
Please continue.
Go to DraftKings. This is a game parlays, money line / total over 8.5. The Astros and Athletics have hit this in 6 of 10 in their season series. Yankees, Royals. Marcus Stroman is too inconsistent. The Royals have been hitting well, and the Yankees mashed it for 11 last night. They get the over 8.5.
Let me ask you a question, because that Astros play plus the 8.5, is that playing both, and it's kind of like a same game parlay? Is that what it is?
It is. It's its own section on the DraftKings. It will be at game parlay, and so the Astros just win on the money line, and you hit the over 8.5. So it is kind of like they did the parlay for you.
I like it, man. There's a lot of things that I do like that sports books are doing, and then there's a lot of things that are very, very frustrating that sports books are doing. That bet right there is one of the things I really like. Some of the influencers they are using, not so much. Not so much. And I'm not going to name anybody. I'm not. DG, do you like some of these plays at the – I'm not going to put anybody on the spot. Just people. By the way,
Real quick.
DG. Yep.
I have a look ahead line on Indiana versus UCLA. I really like that a lot. I think Indiana is a very, very underrated team. I got it at a money line at -130. It's now moved way beyond that. I think you can get it at 3. I still like them to win by at least three or more points going out into LA. So I think Indiana is a sleeper team in college football.
I do too. And UCLA looked awful against Hawaii week 1. Awful. By the way, Howie Schwab always looking down on us here at DTL. And you guys voted and you chose the Royals and the Yankees over 8.5 today. The Cubs and the Dodgers, Raphael, a close second, only 1% difference. So the crew basically likes both. Your thoughts, Raphael, to wrap things up?
Cubs Dodgers have a great KBO pitching matchup today with Umanaki, so it's going to be a fantastic game. I still think we're going to see runs scored in that game of these two great pitchers. I will not shock me if this game goes over the total.
All right, very, very good. Gentlemen, well done today. Producer man, thank you very much. There's only one thing left to do. What a good, fascinating show today. And I believe you all know what that is. You've got your marching orders. Let's take all of these tickets straight to the pay window. Brian Tucker, Lamar, Big Chuck, Soupy, DG, Raphael, producer man, I'm the coach. We'll see you tomorrow morning right here on DTL on Stadium. Take care.